Good evening, everyone. Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy X. I'm the Black Shadow, and I welcome you back to the arena here in the Calmed Lands. As I said, we would be after last time defeating our fourth Dark Aeon. Now with Dark Pt.54, Ifrit, Ixion, and Shiva all defeated now. We're at a now sort of... I tend to find this game, when you play it, is that you go along and then there's a certain point, there's about 2 or 3 times it feels like it happens during the game, where there's a point where you have to improve your party a bit in order to proceed. The first one of note is the Seymour Flux fight. You know, if you're just going along casually and then get onto that fight, you can get a real rude awakening if you're not prepared. And this is another one, personally. And that is where you now have to start breaching into, you know, the remaining Dark Aeon fights. You got Bahamut, Anima, Yojimbo, and the Major Sisters. All pretty tough fights, truth be told. And for that, realistically, we are going to need to improve our party from where they are. Now, their abilities are really nice and good, you know. I mean, look, you know, the stats, you know, breaching into the 200s is pretty good. And I can go into the sphere grid here, you know, and everyone's got pretty much every ability. Well, they've got all of those. They've got all the white magics, black magic. I'm not really using, but virtually got all those. You know, and it's all pretty good. You can see they've got sphere levels just adding up now as they've got pretty much everything I want of this of note. A couple people are missing a couple bits, but nothing in particular. Although I haven't started resorting out this entire place, but we won't be doing that in this video, folks. Because today, the first thing that I really want to address as far as our characters is breaking the HP limit. It is quite an awkward thing to do, folks. Usually, it's quite awkward to do. And in this playthrough, it has been even harder than normal. Now, there are only a handful of ways in which you can get your characters to break the HP limit and start creeping up towards the 100,000 mark. Now, the first one that I have talked about is regarding simply putting it onto a piece of armor, folks. You can get break MP limit, but be honest, folks, don't worry about it. It's not worth it. It really is not worth it. Now, for breaking the HP limit, one thing you can do is you can go and I need to get hold of some of these. And that is down here, and that is to use Wings of Discovery. Attach 30 onto a piece of armor, and you can break the HP limit like that. This is pretty darn useful if you happen to get a piece of armor which you want to keep hold of, and you have been upgrading a bit, and you really want to keep, like Walker's Shutout here. Ribbon, Auto Phoenix, Auto Haste, break HP limit. That's pretty damn good. But unfortunately, as I have just shown in early in the game, Wings of Discovery are very hard to get hold of. They are very expensive. You can only bribe them, really, to get hold of them in any kind of amount of quantity, and it is very, very expensive. You can also, of course, pick up pieces of equipment which have break HP limit on it. However, there are, again, only a handful of enemies that will do it in the entire game. Omega Weapon can drop a piece of armor with break HP limit. All of the Dark Aeon fights, you can pick up break HP limit armor as well. And that also includes a certain Aeon which I haven't got round to fighting yet, but I'll get there soon enough. I'll talk about it in a moment. There is also one enemy in the arena, just out of note, that you can fight, and he can drop break HP limit armor, and that is this guy right here. But you cannot unlock him until you defeat every original creation, every area conquest monster, every species conquest monster at least once. I could probably do that now if I wanted, but we're going to be going through all these guys anyway, so I'm not too worried about rushing through that. Now, just as a quick note, as I have noted in the last video, how we took on Dark Ixion and how we fought him twice. So you do get 2 opportunities in order to fight this guy. and to get hold of break HP limited armor, or any other type of ability that you want that's very hard to get hold of. I'm just going to note it now. I will note it again when we get there, but when we get to the Dark Yojimbo fight, there is a trick you can use, so you can fight this guy as many times as you want. It's not a bad way of picking up dark matter, which is pretty darn rare, and it also means you can pick up a ton of equipment from him, which could very easily have break HP limit on him. However, we're not really... I could have a go at him, but we're just not quite decked out to deal with him yet at the moment, folks. We just aren't. He would annihilate us very, very quickly. So I'm not going to make use of that just yet, but it's something to keep in mind. Now, going back to that's pretty much it, folks. Now, going back to the Wings Discovery, folks. Now, as I've said, you can get these guys. You can bribe Malbros, you can bribe Great Malbros. You can get hold of a few. However, it is exceptionally expensive, and getting hold of the money is not easy. It's pretty time-consuming, even if you go into the Mega Dungeon with like Riku's God Hand, or something's got Gillionaire, and having her in the party when Mimic gets defeated nets you 100k. Not bad, but it's still pretty time-consuming, and you may well want the money for other things, like, I don't know, getting more of those, which is entirely understandable. Mega Elixirs you might want, because I've been customing onto double AP for some pieces of armor, or for, having Mega Elixirs. So, there is, however, one other way of getting hold of Wings Discovery, but I haven't bothered trying to get hold of them until now, because our party needed to be pretty darn decent in order to try and do this. There is an enemy in the arena who will drop Wings to Discovery. 2 of them, in fact, if you overkill it. It might even drop 4 if you, I don't know. I honestly, folks, I've never physically taken it on myself. I've seen it, I've read it. Theoretically, I know how to do it, but I've never actually done it before myself, so this should be quite interesting. You'll note, however, and something I'm just going to tell you guys right now, this is an underwater fight. Underwater fight means you can only use Riku, Walker, and Tidus. This is a slight problem for me, because I don't have an upgraded Kaladbolg, because I forgot to get it from Zanarkand, the Sun Crest, before Dark Bahamut decided to spawn, because I was a bit silly like that. And we're not really strong enough to take on Dark Bahamut until we get some extra people with some HP, really. So, yeah, I'm kind of a bit of a vicious circle there. But we shall try and endeavour nonetheless. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up, that is going to be Stoic. That is going to be... Stoic, and yeah, just trying to think how I want to set these guys up overdrive wise. I think Stoic for the free, probably not a bad idea. I think that's okay. Yeah, okay then. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna save the game. That one is suitable. I hope it is. Well, actually, to be fair, I should have saved it on a different slot, but never mind. I did that. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to have a chat with our Monster Arena guy. And we're going to ask if we can fight Shinryu. There's a reason he's this far down the damn list. He's even further than Alta Buster, Fuben. Oh, I can't wait to fight him. Oh, that's going to be fun. But anyways, folks, we're going to be taking on Shinryu. And we are... well, if you want to know where we are... oh, you're kidding me. I'm going to try that again. Yes, you did just see that. That was a disaster! Yeah, Shinryu is pretty damn bad. And when he ambushes you... oh dear. The battle actually takes place beneath the, like, the very first area of the game. Well, one of the first areas, you know, underneath, like, the ocean liner. When we just first met Riku. I think it's there, but that was not irrelevant. That's irrelevant. What we're interested in is actually winning the damn fight. Let's try this again. Hopefully I won't get ambushed. Well, thank you! What a novel concept! You bastard. Okay, folks. So, what we're going to do... is, to be honest, the mixes are not going to be of much use here. Potentially. Although, saying that, I could be lying. First thing to do is we're going to haste up, Titus. And actually, we could probably do with Shell on everyone, actually, as well, to be honest. So I'm going to do that. Now, Shinryu has 2 million health, which is quite a lot, truth be told, but it's not a ridiculous amount. His actual physical statistics are reasonably not that great, except for his accuracy, which is pretty darn high. However, you just saw the main problem you have with Shinryu. A razor. It will petrify someone. It ignores every defense of the book. You might be wondering, how did Walker get, you know, petrified? I mean, he's got ribbon. Ignores it. That is how bad this is. So, what we want to do is get everyone haste, Shell's handy, and we want to quick hit this guy to death. His stats are reasonably low, so you should be able to do a reasonable amount of damage to him. I'm going to have Titus on healing duties for this one, because he can't break the damage limit, unfortunately. The attack reels are a good way to go if your party's pretty level, because that can do a huge amount of damage. In fact, I am actually going to go and do this. If you feel that you need to go and get Walker some attack reels before you start this fight every time, don't be afraid. There is nothing wrong with that. Luckily, his defenses aren't that great, so we should do max damage, which is what we like. You don't need to be dealing max damage for this fight, but it certainly helps. He'll counter every attack with this physical attack, which hurts a bit. Quick hit again. There we go. But yeah, the main problem you'll have is that this guy loves using a razor. And he'll keep using it until you've got one character left, which is a problem. Heal Walker in the hope that he doesn't get petrified again. He'll also sometimes use this attack, Shining, which is a magical attack, hence the shields. So, it's not particularly powerful, but, you know, why risk it, folks? Get the shields up and just be done with it. Right, okay then, so that's good. I'm going to... I don't really know what I want to do with you, to be honest. Let's put Protect on Walker, wherever Protect is. There it is. Oh, should have quick hit. Never mind. But yeah, as long as your stats are pretty good and you can survive the main physical attacks, it's not too bad this fight, actually. Having a full attack reels that would do max damage makes life a lot easier. Of course, having a Cloud Bowl would make it easier still, but I decided I didn't need that. Because I'm a silly person. Also, as well, just making sure, I say, casting the Hastiger, if you can get lots of turns in as well, you're pretty good. I probably could have done this fight sooner, but I really wanted to make sure I was overpowered for this before I took this one on. Oh, you idiot. Well, at least you got a critical hit, so that made up for that. Yeah, if you take this on too early, then you just can't survive the counterattacks in the first place. You can't get enough turns, and, you know, that's just that. But, you know, we probably could have done this a bit sooner. Just keep the healing going. It still annoys me how healing magic gets affected by shield. I hate some games that do that, but, you know, whatever. Let's just use an outlet potion here. Heal everyone up. Like, you don't see me do that much anymore. Oh, he's going to use a normal physical attack today. Okay, then. You're being rather generous this time. Are you feeling sympathy for having, like, erased me before I even got a move in? Is that what this is about? Is it? I suspect so. Also, to note, Prey doesn't get affected by shield. That's interesting. But anyways, he's dead. I'm probably a bit overpowered for this, but I wanted to make sure. Also, lots of XP. 2 wings to discovery for an overkill, so I'm assuming normally he'll only drop 1. But when your party is reasonably powered, it's a really good way to get hold of wings, because it isn't costing you hundreds of thousands of gil in order to get hold of it. You've just got to be careful and just hope he doesn't erase her like a nut. I mean, if he ambushes you, I mean, the problem there is, like, Walker obviously is most likely going to be your main damage dealer with the attack reels especially. So, I mean, if he gets ambushed and he gets erased immediately, you might as well think about restarting, unless your party is even more powerful than what I've got. But the important thing is that we've got the wings there. So what we can do now is we can customize it onto a piece of armor. Now, the question was, what piece of armor do I put it on? I really want to give it to Auron. I really do, because, you know, him Sentinel and all that, but I suppose, Walker, let's give it to you for the very first one, seeing as you came and earned it, folks. So, here is a piece of armor for you. Ribbon, Auto Phoenix, Auto Haste, Break HP. I'm pretty sure... No, I think Ribbon is the dominant ability as far as name's concerned, but I'm pretty sure Break HP is like the second. It can make it like a Genji piece of equipment. But anyways, huzzah. And suddenly, we've got 22,000 health. This, of course, is because of the fact that in all the spheres that we've gotten hold of, we've been getting hold of loads of HP spheres for hours and not getting the benefits. Now we broke the HP limit, suddenly we can get the health. And considering that is over a 100% improvement, that's pretty damn cool. Everyone should be about that same sort of range, 20 to 25. Some people just start off with, like, Auron starts off with more health on a base level than some others, for example. But nonetheless, that's pretty good. So that is really handy. As I say, we've got a couple pieces of equipment I'd want to keep. Like Riku, I'm going to add break HP limit to. Titus has got no really good shields at all. And another fight actually I'm going to show off, actually. I'm going to try... Well, I will show you the time that we've got. Sophia Ring, again, she's not got any great piece of equipment. Auron has got some Auto Phoenix equipment, but I'd really want to have 4 slots. 3's not enough, because with Auron, I want to give Auron Auto Protect. So Auto Protect, Auto Phoenix, Auto Haste, and Thingamabob. Break HP limit. I mean, Ribbon's really good. Don't get me wrong. Having Ribbon is really nice, but the thing is that for some of the last couple fights or so, Ribbon's kind of irrelevant, because, you know, you start dealing with, like sometimes the some enemies, like there, for example, that fight where the status effect it causes ignores defenses. And you're either going to be dealing with enemies that cause status effects that ignore defenses, or you're going to be taking on enemies that don't bother with status effects and they just annihilate you. You know, so Ribbon is really useful for doing a lot of fights in the arena, because, like, especially if you want to get hold of some take on enemies to get hold of, like, these spheres here. Generally, you're going to be taking on enemies that are going to be, like, causing confusion or poison or this status effect or that status effect. And, you know, if you've got someone with Ribbon like Walker and just get him sentling, taking all the hits, it negates all those status effects, and then you're pretty fine. But you don't need to fill your party with Ribbon status effects. I personally don't think it's necessary. Maybe it's just me. Because also, you'll also start getting some of the last enemies will use attacks that cause, like, breaks, you know, power break, armor break, that sort of thing. And Ribbon doesn't do anything with those, I'm pretty sure. It doesn't come under a status effect. It's like a I don't know. Because you got to use the spell and not sooner. I don't know. But anyways. So that's a pretty easy enough way of getting hold of your armors. And getting hold of Wings of Discovery once your party's powerful enough. So, off screen, after this, I'm going to be doing an absurd amount of fighting these damn things, Evrays. Because I need to get hold of Wings of Discovery, and I kind of need to save my money up so that I can actually get hold of, you know, some other things that I need to buy because they're hard to get hold of. Also to note as well, the equipment that he can drop. I'll just show you here. We got hold of the top shape, which has auto med. You may remember that. He can drop armor with auto med. He can also drop weapons that have double AP on them. Just so you know. Lovely. Right, well, we have got time for one more fight, folks. So I'm going to show off another one of the original creation fights. I have been fighting this guy plenty off screen already. And basically what I was trying to do as I have gone with a couple characters, like with Auron, Kamari's got one as well, is I wanted to get hold of some equipment which had Auto Phoenix on it. The reason for that is that Mega Phoenixes are, well, I've got a fair few, truth be told. However, putting Auto Phoenix onto a piece of equipment can be a bit expensive. Auto Phoenix is further down, actually, my bad. And I have got a few of these now, so I don't have to worry so much. But I was also interested in trying to get hold of, with Tidus or Yuna, how neither of them have got a piece of equipment really it's any good. Or really that's got anything that I can work with in regards to the Final Fantasy fight. So I was trying to get hold of some good armor, which has Auto Phoenix on it. And there is an enemy in the Monster Arena who dropped that for us. So let's just quickly resort out our party. I'm going to have Tidus, go with Auron, go with Yuna to start. Yeah, I can dig that. Auron, I'm going to have him on his Masamune just to start so he gets the first strike, and then I'm going to change it back to the Heaven's Cloud because I really like the Heaven's Cloud. I like it more than the Masamune. It's quite sad. It's just because the benefit of the extra damage from the Masamune for being low HP, it's kind of irrelevant now. It's really not important. And if he's got max HP, generally speaking, he's doing more damage anyway. So just having the ability with Auron to have 1 MP cost is amazing for using quick hits or magic like auto life or anything like that. It's all at 1 MP cost. It's really, really good. So I'm going to be switching between those two as we go. But we're going to be taking on another original creation, folks. We're going to be taking on the Greater Sphere, who is probably one of the more time-consuming enemies to take on out of all the ones in the game. But it's generally worth it. So let's go and take him on. Now this guy, you have to prepare yourself before you start engaging in battle. You cannot charge this because you will die. And even of how powerful our party is, we're not in a bad state, but we're not much more powerful than the limit threshold of not being good enough is. So first thing I'm going to do is haste gun. Which is why I wanted Auron on the first strike. Now I'm not going to use Tidus, and I'm not actually going to use them, but I want the experience. So I'm just going to quickly cycle through a couple of turns, a character I can use, blah. Lulu I could use for the auto shell, but it's not really necessary. Who I do want is Wakka and Riku. So let's just defend quickly, get those two in. There we are, 22,000 now, that is good stuff. And we will be using Hyper Mighty for this. I try not to use these, like in arena fights, but Greater Sphere, it is worth your time. So, another ambient, I need to get hold of all those. So Hyper Mighty, everyone. for the protect, for the haste, for the and for the shell as well. The shell especially is very important. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to have everyone defending. And actually I'm going to have Orange Sentinel here. The sphere has 2 general attacks that he uses. He works in just like if you remember the sphere, I forget the name of it, but the boss fight in the Macalania Woods when we got the first Jet Sphere. This guy can use either a normal physical attack, which does very little damage, like this, and basically I want the counter attack. There we go, very nice. Or he can use a move called Hydraulic Press. The Hydraulic Press is nasty. So I'm going to go and attack reel this guy. He has got a lot of health. 1 point... I forget. 1.6? Just going to look it up, folks, while we do a fair amount of damage. Unfortunately, this is the guy's other attack, and he'll always respond to an overdrive. Hydraulic Press. It hurts. It hurts a lot. Hydraulic Press will hit a character for 15/16 of their maximum HP. This can be lowered with Protect. It can be lowered with Defending. It can also be lowered with Cheers. Speaking of Cheers, let's use some! $1.5 million health. I've just had to bring up its stats there. Apologies for that. Couldn't remember. So we're going to use 5 Cheers, and we are also going to use 5 Focuses because we need the magic resistance as well. And I'll show you why you will need the magic resistance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Could be wrong. Hope not. Now 5 Focuses. I could use whatever it is, the mix that gives you it might be Hyper Null All or something. I think maybe that's what gives the 5 Cheers and 5 Focuses, but our turn time is quick enough, we can just do it manually. Besides, I wanted Hyper Might. No, I meant Focus. Besides, I wanted Hyper Mighty because I just wanted to get all those beneficial status effects done straight away. And the Null All is really not of any use here. There we go, so we've got 5 Cheers, 5 Focuses. So we're probably going to have to defend here again. Yep, we'll defend. Gone for Walker, hit, counter attack there, very nice. Now, the problem you'll have generally with this guy is actually dealing normal damage. Because just like the old Sphere fight, this guy has an elemental weakness which changes between fire, thunder, lightning, and ice. Which is fire, thunder, lightning, and ice, fire, water, lightning, and ice. There we go. And the problem is because this guy, he doesn't really use any elemental attacks. Very rarely will he do that. You kind of have no idea what what elemental weakness he may or may not have. So let's see if I can't make a good guess here. Let's go with Blizzaga. This is purely... Oh, he was weak to ice. Wow. So he will elemental shift. And if your party is not as strong as this, you may well have to try and take him out using your magic attacks. However, of course, you're not always going to be right. You're kidding me. I'm trying to get this wrong. Deliberately, I'm trying to get this wrong. I can't be. Finally, he absorbed 1. Now, unfortunately, yeah. The Greatest Sphere will respond to any normal attack with Ultima. Ultima hurts a lot. However, our party is pretty well boosted. The Greatest Sphere's got a magic of about 100, just so you know. And we've got the 5 Focuses, we've got the shells, so it's not too bad. However, he will also, any physical attacks you decide you want to use against this guy, uses Ultima as well. which is a problem. So you can see where your problems start happening. Now you could just sit around and just, you know, and just sit around and just keep hitting with physical, with counterattacks if you really wanted to. But you know, that's boring. We don't want to do that. So you need the shells and the protects and the cheers and the focuses if you want to actually launch a reasonably good, you know, physical war on this guy. Because of course with the celestial weapons we can do plenty of damage, but we've got to survive Ultima, which he'll use every damn time. Which sucks. Alright, it's better than bloody, you know, him using frickin' hydraulic press, because fractional damage is an absolute bitch when you start having like 20, 30, 40, 50,000 health. As I'm sure you guys can agree and understand. Grab another Gambler's Spirit, they're always handy. But yeah, so, I mean, you can keep using magic attacks, but you've got no way of knowing what magic attack he has, or what he's vulnerable to, which is a huge problem. Right, so we'll heal up. You can Sentinel in case he does another normal attack, which I don't think he will. I'm very surprised. I'm expecting Hydraulic Press. No! Well, I'm surprised. Youch. Okay, I'll take it. I'll just heal up Walker one more time. I've got to start getting used to having lots of health here, but even only having like 20,000 health, 30,000 health, it's not really enough to be surviving in some of the later fights. We need more health than this, but we'll get there later. Anyways, this guy, he's dead. But yeah, the main thing is that if you can survive the ultimate counterattack, then you're not in too bad a state. So that's all. Super! Give me that XP. Not that I really need it, but hey. A couple Dark Matters, which is fine. However, just so you guys know, and I haven't really talked about it yet, I was going to talk about more next video. This guy can actually drop Luck Spheres, which is like the, you've got Luck Spheres which put down like the Luck +4 nodes. Then you've got Fortune Spheres, which, you know, activate them. This guy will drop the Luck Spheres. However, he's given me some Dark Matters today. Also, Phoenix Ring. That is what we wanted. Very nice. Just check that piece of equipment out. No. Where is it? Ah, only 3 spaces? You're joking. Well, at least we've got it. But you get the idea, folks. And I say, now that our party is, you know, getting up to that 200 mark, once you've got to this point where, you know, you've basically cleared out the sphere grid, or at least what it normally is, you can start really taking on most of the enemies in the Monster Arena, folks. Not all of them. There's 1 or 2 that you may still want to think twice about, but you get the idea. So that's really cool. So what I'm going to be doing now, as part of my off-screen work for this LP, is I will start fighting Shinryu a little bit off-screen. I don't want tons of Wing to Discovery, but I certainly want one for Riku. I probably want one for Kamari, and I might just build his piece of equipment up. Give him auto haste, give him break HP limits, and give him auto... I don't know. Auto Phoenix, auto haste, auto... I don't know. I've got a spare slot. I could give him protect as well. I might give you auto protect as well, actually. It would be handy in a pinch. Yeah. But yeah, so that's pretty cool. So I'm going to start doing that. However, there is a lot more, obviously, to these characters than just simply getting up, you know, their stats and all this sort of thing. You know, I mean, like with Walker here, he's got 22,000 health. That's really good. But, you know, the sphere grid's full. That's it. You know, it's done. You know, how am I supposed to boost up my characters anymore? I mean, you know, you told me that the health can go up to 100,000, all the stats can go to 255, just like the Aeons, you know. Their stats have gone up to 255, why can't I do it with mine? Well, you can originally, but that doesn't mean you can't at all. Once again, it's a case of going back to the arena. You see, there's a little special something that this guy can sell. It's not in that list, it's in this one. Clear spheres. Next time on Let's Play Final Fantasy X, we delve back into the sphere grid. And it's time to turn our characters from pretty damn amazing to godlike. It is a long, expensive process, but if you want to do everything that you want to do in this game, and do everything that's on offer, it is a necessary step. I will see you next time. Make sure to bring your notepads.